Hey folks, this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. Today we are here to go over our newest addition to our inventory. This is going to be, again, a car I'm going to assume is going to be very popular with almost everybody out there. A black 1968 Chevrolet Camaro. Now just to give kind of a quick overview of the car before we go do our walk around here. This car is the 68 Camaro, black paint, silver stripes on the hood and deck lid. Again, the paint is in very nice condition on this car. However, it does have a few little spots here and there throughout the paint, just little tiny things that can't hardly even see there. But again, I just definitely want to call that out to you. As far as the car itself goes, running gear and so forth, it's kind of a bit of a resto mod almost. It does in fact have a fuel injected 350 cubic inch motor, the 700 R4 automatic overdrive transmission with a 276 gear in the rear end. And it's got the aftermarket wheels on it too, of course, just to give it a little bit different look. So we'll go ahead, we'll start our walk around and I'll call out to you exactly what I see here. So as far as the emblems go on this car, obviously you're going to see that it does in fact have the 350 emblems on the front fenders, as well as the Camaro script and the SS badges also back here on the back side of the front fenders. It does in fact also have the bright wheel lip moldings all the way around on the car, all securely fastened and in great condition on this car too. As I briefly mentioned there just 2 seconds ago, the wheels, in fact, they are obviously aftermarket wheels. The name brand on these is Show Wheel, and then the model is the Streeter model here on the wheel. It is an 18-inch wheel up front, polished aluminum, 5-spoke design there, and then out here on the back they've elected to go with a 20-inch wheel, obviously the same name brand, same model of wheel. And then the tires themselves, these are going to be Iron Man iMove tires, generation 2. The size on the fronts is 235/40 ZR18, and then of course out here on the back, a little bit different size here. We've got a 255/35 ZR20 back here. All the tread is in excellent condition, like new. As a matter of fact, they might be new, I'm not sure, but if not, they're very close to it. Tread looks great and the tire looks great on the car as well. You'll also notice here along the rocker panel, we've got the bright rocker panel moldings here on the car too. Nice and straight all the way back, nice and shiny, all attached and good and secure as they should be. Now on our 68 Camaro here, we always like to check on these older cars, check the gaps and the elevations here as far as the panel fitment and alignment. And again, the gaps are really nice on this car, at least over here on the driver's side. We'll check them out on the passenger side when we get there. We've got the bright, the chrome mirror here on the driver's side. The chrome's in great shape. The glass is in great shape as well. All of our moldings around the window, all of our trim work here, you can see nicely polished up, good and shiny, no dents or dings anywhere, all attached nice and securely. The other thing I always like to do is check through the rain gutter here, make sure you don't have any big blobs or anything up there, and again, that is nice and smooth through that rain gutter there. The glass, slightly tinted, no chips or cracks anywhere here on the glass, whether it's the driver's glass or the quarter window glass. That all looks great, and even the chrome finish on the door handles here, no pitting or scratching there. That all looks good. Let's now open our door up, take a look at the interior. Again, inside you'll notice all black interior as well. Black upholstery, that's vinyl on the seats there. It does in fact have seat belts. You've got the shoulder harness belts, retractable on the front, bucket seats, and then of course on the back, the lap belts for the rear seats. full-length center console with your horseshoe shifter, and it does in fact have the correct shift pattern on there for the 700R4 transmission, which does in fact have the overdrive gear in it. As far as the gauges there in our dash, those are a Shark gauge. You've got the 140 mile an hour speedo, and then you have the other gauge that includes your fuel, battery, water temperature, and oil pressure. And then right in the center, of course, you're going to have your AC and heater controls, along with an aftermarket digital AM FM cassette player. Again, the upholstery is in great shape. The carpeting all black, no rips, tears, or fading there. As we back up and we look at things like the door panels, that also is in great shape. There are no wear marks, no rips or tears in the armrest. Again, that's where you'll see a lot of things that go on like that, for your wear and tear. But these all look to be fairly new on this car. Now, if we look at our weather stripping here also, all the way around the windows, all your quarter window seals and so forth, you'll see that there are no rips or tears. They are all complete, all securely fastened. Even your door weather stripping here down the side of the door and down around the bottom, that is all good and secure and nice and soft. No rips or tears anywhere. Even has the rubber bump stops here on your door. So that's pretty much the interior from our driver's side. As I said, as we work our way to the passenger side, we'll get a chance to look at that side too. So again, the quarter panel, nice and straight, nice shiny black paint. Sail panels all look good too. Of course, we have our rear window, no chips, cracks, or even scratches really to talk of. You've got your bright molding on the rear window here, all securely anchored down there too. Looks very good. No dents or dings anywhere in that. The rear trunk here, of course it's in the rear, it is your trunk, but anyways, you've got all your gaps and elevations here on your trunk lid itself are in great shape, all adjusted very, very nicely here. As I mentioned, those silver stripes, they come all the way from the front of the vehicle on the hood, and they continue here on the rear deck lid itself, and even on that rear trunk spoiler. Of course, down here we've got our tail panel here, our tail lights. The lenses are in great shape. There's no cracks or chips in those lenses on either side, so that is all good. Your bezels all look to be in really nice shape. No pitting in those either, and where they should be black, that all looks good too. Of course, you've got the SS gas cap and a nicely polished chrome rear bumper here. Down below, you've got your rear lower valance, just your standard 68 rear lower valancer, but that is all in good shape too. So what we'll do now, as we always do, we're going to go ahead and open that trunk up for you so we can take a look at the interior there and show you exactly how nice a condition that's in. So first and foremost, the key does in fact work the lock. The underside of the trunk here, all painted the same black, just like the exterior of the vehicle. Your weather stripping here is in excellent shape, no rips or tears there. It all meets together right in the center. And again, your rain gutters, all your water channels here and so forth are all good and solid and look to be in great condition. It's going to help direct that water away from that trunk and out the back of the vehicle, away from anything damaging to the inside there. Your trunk hinges and spring all functioning as they should, as it's holding that trunk lid up all on its own. And then of course the trunk itself. Now you can see how nice a condition the interior of this trunk is. Nicely painted here with the black and aqua trunk spatter paint. And if you're able to see, and I'll call it out here, with the fuel injected motor here, it looks as though for ease of access for fuel pump and your fuel lines, they've gone ahead and they've done some access panels here, but they've done it very nicely. They've stamped everything to kind of match all the same stamping lines and so forth as your factory trunk. It just, like I said, just ease of access. If anything ever were to go wrong with the fuel pump or with the lines there, you don't have to necessarily drop the whole entire tank to get to it. Just a very kind of a nice feature there to have on that car. Somebody thought of that. So we'll close that up. Again, that shuts very nice and easy. And now we'll continue on to the passenger side. Again, standing at the back, looking all the way to the front. Super, super straight down the sides of this car. And again, black is one of the hardest colors to try to cover anything up. So again, there are no waves or anything down the side of this car, nice and straight. Again, we've already talked of our wheels, tires, wheel lip moldings, all of that stuff. You'll just kind of, you know, take notice of that stuff as we walk around. Again, now over here at the passenger side, glass, same thing here, slightly tinted, no chips, cracks, or scratches in either of the glasses here. Again, all your trim work and molding here on the around the door and the glass and so forth, all in great shape, nicely polished up, no dents or dings. The rain gutter itself, nice and smooth all the way around there. And again, door handles, rocker moldings, all in great condition on this car. You'll see our gaps now on the passenger side, so at the back as well as the front, very uniform even on this side of the car. And your elevations with your front fender and door to quarter panel are all dead on. All of your body lines, of course, all line up. Let's go ahead and open our door up now and let you see it from the passenger side. Again, no differences, no surprises here. The upholstery is in great shape. There's no rips or tears anywhere. You barely even see any kind of wear marks or wear indicators anywhere in the seats, even in the carpeting. The dash is in great shape. There's no cracks in the dash. Again, very nice gauges. The tilt steering wheel over there to help with driver comfortability there, and a 4-spoke Grant steering wheel. Just a really nice looking vehicle. And again, this car, I do want to call out, very solid car. I know a lot of times with these older cars, you can get in them and they shake and rattle a little bit. Not this car here. Very tight car. It feels like you're just out in a modern vehicle. The only difference is you're in a much cooler vehicle, in my opinion, a 1968 Camaro. Again, you've got all your matching badges here on the passenger side, and now we'll come around to the front of the vehicle. So here at the front, again, this is just your traditional 68 Camaro front end, just your regular grille here with the SS emblems in the middle. All of your headlights, those are sealed beam units, glass lenses, no chips, cracks there. Your directionals and so forth, the lenses and those are in great shape. And again, very nice chrome bumper, polished up really well, no pitting, no scratching. And again, it does in fact have that front air dam or chin spoiler underneath. Now, as far as the hood goes, again, as I mentioned, this is the silver stripes here, steel 2-inch cowl induction hood. As we come up here to the windshield, no chips, cracks, or scratches there. And once again, all of your bright work, your molding here, all securely fastened and no dents or dings there. Wiper arms are in great shape. The wiper blades, a very nice set of wiper blades there too. Gaps, elevations all the way around the hood. Just a very nice fitting hood all around. So with that said, kind of going off of what we just went over at the very beginning of the video, now we're going to go ahead and open the hood up and we're going to tell you about as much as we can about the Driveline here on this car. So we'll get our hood up. So again, the hood latch does in fact work. Hood hinges and springs function as they should. The underside of the hood, you can see all your bracing all intact. Very, very nice underneath here. Again, all black steel cowl induction hood, the all black engine compartment. And now here is that kind of a more modern GM 350 cubic inch tune port fuel injected motor there. Now, as you can see here, we'll kind of start at the front and top and kind of work our way down on this motor. You can see it does in fact have a K&N. This is a reusable cone style air filter mounted right here on the front of your MAPS sensor there. Then as far as the intake, you can see the runners on that, nicely polished up runners there. Looks very, very nice underneath here. Nice set of black painted Chevrolet valve covers with the Chevrolet embossed in those valve covers, and of course the bow ties. That's all all looks very good here too. And it does in fact have a set of aluminum spark plug wire looms on it to keep all your wires separated and nice and neat. As far as the plug wires themselves go, you've got a set of Taylor Spiro Pro plug wires, and those are, let me take a look, those are 8mm plug wires, so that's going to help deliver your spark to that fuel injected motor much better than a cheap set of plug wires. It's an HEI style ignition on the car along with that fuel injection, so good efficient spark ignition, and again with the fuel injection, very efficient as far as the fuel goes. Headers on this car, you can see it's got a set of 1 3/4 inch long tube ceramic coated headers, and then as far as the rest of the exhaust, it's 2.5 inch full exhaust with the X pipe in there and a set of dual Flowmaster mufflers, so it's going to have a nice tone to the exhaust. Power brakes, disc up front, drums on the rear, complete with the emergency brake, and power steering. Another thing that this car has that would be kind of updated from like an older style 68 Camaro small block Chevrolet engine is in fact the serpentine belt pulley system and belts. These belts are going to work a whole lot better for you here than say your top cog or your V-groove belts. Just again a very nice setup, and like I mentioned with the interior, it does in fact have air conditioning on the car that does function just as it should. The radiator, just your standard kind of a stock style radiator, but it does in fact have a, I believe it's like a 14.5 inch electric puller fan on it to help keep everything nice and cool here. All of your heater and AC lines are all plumbed nice and neat, no leaks or drips anywhere, including all of your radiator hoses there. Just an all-around nice vehicle. And again, we've already mentioned the rest of the Driveline, the 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission, which is going to be great for taking this car out and just going cruising or even going on a long drive down the highway. That nice transmission with the overdrive gear is going to be perfect for doing things like that. And again, the gear in the rear end, 276, you're not going to over rev the motor anytime with that gear. Just a nice highway gear for the car. As I said, very nice tight vehicle, feels just like you're in a modern vehicle when you're in this car here. With that said, I always end this section of our video with, you know, depending on where you're watching this video from, make sure that you always go check out our website, www.hanksters.com. You're going to see upwards of 100 photos of this vehicle all the way around and underneath it. You're going to see this video, and you'll see the retail pricing for this car. The fact that it does include shipping anywhere within the 48 contiguous states, and that is enclosed shipping for the retail price. And then it also includes our Hanksters 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you're interested in that and you want to know a little bit more about that, as I always say, reach out to us by phone, email, or text. We'll be glad to explain how that works exactly for you. Pretty simple process. And then other than that, just kind of like parts and accessories. If there's anything at all that you would want to maybe have added to this car or maybe changed on it, by all means, same thing. Hit us up by phone, email, or text. Let us know what those additions or changes may or may not be. We'll be glad to get you a quote on pricing and price on labor to have those things installed. Just kind of something we do to help you, you know, make the car your own and, you know, make it what you want before you purchase it. So with that said, we're all done here. We're going to close this up. We're going to go underneath the car now, show you the underside, and then at the end we'll fire that motor up. That way you get to hear exactly what it sounds like before you make any kind of decisions on this ride. All right, folks, so here we are. Once again, we got our 68 Camaro here up on our lift so that we can go through the complete underside here with you, kind of point out the condition of everything and point out exactly what we are looking at underneath here as far as all the components go and the condition of the frame, the floors, all the suspension, the ball joints, all of that stuff that we normally do. So again, starting here at the front of our 68 Camaro, we do in fact have that front air dam here, which is in in excellent condition here. All of the correct mounting hardware is all here. It's all attached good and secure. Even has all of your little support rods here, which I know a lot of times they do not come in with those on, but this one does have all of it. So it's good and sturdy underneath there as far as that front air dam goes. Back a little further here, the front cross member on the car. Again, a very important piece because this is where all of your suspension all bolts off of here. So again, that is nice and straight. Doesn't look like it's been beat up or banged on anything. And of course, the front suspension. These are gonna be just stock OE style A-arms, both uppers and lowers. Everything's been painted up real nice underneath here. All of the rubber bump stops are all where they should be. Shocks, springs, those all look good. All of your mounting hardware, the bushings at your shock mount locations, those are all in good shape. It does in fact also have a 3/4 inch front sway bar. Now that sway bar, your bushings at the frame mounts, as well as back here at your sway bar end links, those are all in great shape. They're not split or dry rotted or anything. They're nice and soft, and again, in great condition. Ball joints, you can tell those are all in great shape. Again, they've been checked over here in our shop. All the grease fittings are there. Everything's been greased and maintained as it should be. So again, that's all going to be keep everything in great shape. All the rubber dust boot covers are all intact, not only on those, but on our tie rods as well, our tie rod ends. So again, that's going to keep the grease in, dirt and debris out, keeps those ball joints and the tie rod ends from wearing prematurely. As far as the steering itself goes, this is in fact a power steering car. We always check out the drag length, the your pitman arm, tie rods, tie rod ends, everything's been checked out. Everything is all in good condition. And this is in fact a power brake car as well. Disc brakes up front, drums out on the rear, and that is complete with the emergency brake cables all hooked up and functional. Now your front disc brakes, it's going to be just typical GM components. So when it comes time to replace things like pads and rotors and so forth, you're going to be able to pick that stuff up at any auto parts store. You know, for the most part, just go in and order this stock stuff there, and that's going to do just a fine job for you there. And then as far as the wheels and tires go, now this particular car, obviously upgraded wheels and tires. It's got 18-inch wheels up front, and these are the show wheel speedsters, polished aluminum wheel, like I said, 18s. And then as far as the tires go, the size are 225/40 18s on the front, and then when we get to the back, I'll call those sizes out there too. And as far as the name brand on these, they are an iMove Gen 2 and Ironman iMove Gen 2 tire. Tread is in great shape, and a matter of fact, I believe that these tires are all new that's on this car here, or if not, very, very new, because again, they look to be in great condition here. As far as when we come in here and start talking about our Driveline, we have our 350 cubic inch fuel injected motor here. The oil pan all the way around the seal, that is nice and dry. The drain bolt itself and the whole backside here of the pan where you would see some leaks from maybe a rear main seal, that is all super dry all the way around. You in fact have the flywheel cover here, and then of course your tranny pan here for your 700 R4 automatic overdrive transmission. The pan itself is all dry all the way around. All of your lines coming from your transmission cooler back to the transmission, those are dry also. The transmission cross member and mount are in great condition on this car. A nice straight cross member, and the mount is in great shape. And even the output shaft seal here where your slip yoke slides into that is nice and dry as well. Of course, you've got your drive shaft going back to the rear end. And again, universals have all been checked out on that. And that is in fact a balanced drive shaft. So that'll help eliminate a lot of your driveline vibrations in the car. Before we get too far back the car here, we'll go over the exhaust system. So we've got the 1 3/4 inch long tube ceramic coated headers all the way back with 2.5 inch exhaust here, the X pipe, and then a set of Flowmaster mufflers back there, and the tailpipes up over top of the rear end, and they exit out between the leaf spring and the quarter panel, but we'll get a better shot of that as we walk further back the car. As far as the frame and all the floors on the car, everything looks to be in great shape. Of course, this is a subframe up front here. You can tell that that's never been bent or dinged up on anything. It's nice and straight back here. All of your body mount bolts and bushings all in great shape as well. The floors look to be in fantastic condition here. I do not see any patching here on our floors. Everything's all complete. You can see all of the stamping marks, so you know it's all the correct metal. There's been no patches with any kind of flat metal or anything. So it's all the correct stuff. You can see all of the emergency brake cables here, all run and strung throughout the car. All of your fuel lines, brake lines and such, all run nice and neat along the floor of the car out towards those pinch welds. Speaking of the pinch welds, nice and straight down both sides of the car. The rockers are good and solid on both sides as well. So there's going to be no issues there. As we work our way back now a little bit further on the car, now we'll get to our rear end. So the front snout on that rear end, all dry here. So again, like your pinion seal and so forth, no leaks or drips there whatsoever. This is in fact a GM 10-bolt rear. It is an open diff. It's got the 276 gear in it also. Rear suspension, it does in fact have the monoleaf rear suspension. The shocks on the rear of the car look to be fairly new. All the paint is still all very nice on the shocks. And again, your bushings at your shock mounting locations are all in great shape. As I mentioned before, it is drum brakes on the back, complete with the emergency brake, all hooked up and functional. And then as far as the wheels on the back of the car, same wheel. Obviously, you're going to have the same style wheel, but it's a 20-inch wheel now on the back. And as far as the size back here, these would be 255/35 ZR20s, and it is the exact same name brand and same tread as what you see on the back of the car. They just gave it kind of a more modern look with the wheel and tire combination they went with. Now, as we come back in here to our rear end here, you'll see your rear diff cover here. That is nice and dry. Also, brake lines run nice and neat across that rear axle housing. And again, all nice and dry. I already mentioned about the tailpipes up over top of the rear end housing and exiting between the leaf spring and the quarter panel on both sides. So that all looks to be all mounted up very nicely. And again, the fuel tank is in great condition here. There's no dents or dings anywhere on that fuel tank. The mounting straps and hardware are all in great condition. The trunk floor itself, all in great shape too. No patches or anything from underneath here. And all of your fuel lines going all the way back here to your fuel tank, those are all nice and dry as well. That is pretty much it for the underside of our 68 Camaro. So now that we've completed the walk around and the underside, we'll go ahead and lower this down, get that hood open, and then we'll let you hear what this fuel injected 350 sounds like.